Hello friends, and welcome to a very foggy day in beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. Today I wanted to take you to the Dali Museum. That's our goal. I wanted to make one stop first though. That is to my favorite coffee shop in the area, the Craft Cafe. It's right down there. Right across the street from my old residence, the Detroit Hotel. It's actually a lot of condos. If you ever watched any of my old World's Greatest Kiting videos, you would see the Detroit quite a bit there. Flew a kite on the rooftop, and actually right here on this top floor of the garage, the parking garage, I flew a kite in a hurricane right here. It's quite fun. If you want to see any of those videos, I'll put a link right there. I'm gonna have that bacon cheddar pizza and a decaf coffee. I love Craft Cafe because everything here is gluten-free and it's really good. I didn't expect it to all be this good. When I first came in here, you know, gluten-free, you think, oh, yeah, I'm on a diet, but this food is amazing. And they have great coffee too. Like right in the middle of downtown, everything's going on right here. It's a perfect place. I'll show you a little secret about this place too. Right inside the Petersburg building that the Craft Cafe is in the base of is this amazing lobby, which has some very historical value. Right here where I stand is where the train station used to sit, the very first building alongside the Detroit Hotel that existed in St. Petersburg. Now it's this Petersburg building that holds some major businesses like EA Sports is in here and some other companies, but there's also smaller businesses and offices in here too. Enough of that. Time to drink some coffee, eat this pizza, and head over to the Dali.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Free parking. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
Alrighty, there you go.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You're taking stairs to the elevators up there.
Well, friends, I am in using my annual pass. I've had for several years here to the Dali. I love this museum. It is my favorite museum in the area. I really do love it. The gift shop is amazing. They have clearly some amazing art as well. Today, I'm not here to show you the Dali art. I'll show you a couple of my favorite pieces, but there's a special photography exhibit that's going on today. I thought maybe you'd like to see that because it's for a limited time only, and I know many of you may not be able to make it out here to see this exhibit. So let's go check that out. This is one reason why I love this museum. It's beautiful.
Going down.
Well, they brought back the mirror ball. This hasn't been here for a while. It's pretty cool thing just to take pictures in front of and stuff. Weird perspective, huh? The view from the museum is awesome. You may think there's cracks, but they're not. It's just a sticker. Just a sticker, folks. Still pretty foggy, but you can see the St. Petersburg Pier. The exhibit that we're here to see today is the photographic art of Lee Miller. Before we go into that exhibit, we're going to go check out some of my favorite pieces by Dali. The view of the catechase is one of my favorite of his paintings. This was done in 1917. It's one of his earliest paintings that Dali did. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Heraclitus tells us that it pleased nature to hide itself. Enrique, a fisherman from Cadaqués, tell me the same thing in his own words. One day, while looking at a painting of mine that represents the sea, He say it's the same, but it is better in the painting because the waves can be counted. Self a genius to try to make paintings more popular than.
If you really want to learn about these paintings, you can sit in on one of these tours. It's very informative. They have an audio tour, and you can download the app from the museum, and it's got all that information on it as well. It's a great museum. Let's go see the work of Lee Miller. You'll notice here this image as you first walk into the exhibit is of Dali and his wife Gala. Well, Lee was a photographer of a lot of other photographers and surrealist artists that she became friends with over the years. Not a lot of the art was made of her. Sometimes people did capture her in photographs, and this one here behind me is of her. Her first husband, Man Ray, and another one of her husbands, Roland, are pictured in the center together. They're still friends today, from what I understand. Here's another really cool image of Lee. Just a few minutes ago, one of the attendants here in the museum walked me around and told me a lot of cool history about Lee and her work and her life. They probably should have named this exhibit The Life of Lee Miller. She was amazing. She developed a type of photography that you see here. It became very popular in the early 1900s.
The story is that Lee Miller stepped out in front of an automobile, and as the driver swerved to a halt, the most powerful man in fashion managed to scoop her up, and that man was Condé Nast, who was the founder of American Vogue.
Now, I say that there weren't a lot of photography of Lee, but that's not entirely true. She started her career as a model in New York, and as you hear there, it's pretty amazing. Condé Nast, the founder of Vogue, pulled her in from almost getting hit from a car in the streets of New York City, and very soon after, she was on the cover of that magazine. Pretty amazing story, huh? As I said, Lee was friends with a lot of surrealists and other artists. There's some images here of her and Picasso. They were very good friends. You can see what their interactions were like, pretty candidly. At one point in Lee's life, she married this Egyptian wealthy person and moved her to Egypt. This is a photo that she took while she was there, right about the time that she found her way out of Egypt. She missed Paris, went back to Paris, and met another man, got married. She married a British man named Roland Penrose. We saw him earlier with her first husband. Here you see him pictured with Picasso. Lee traveled back to Paris after she spent time in Egypt, and it was right before World War II, in 1939. She used her photography skills that she picked up on from her first husband, and through this time being a model and so on, she became a correspondent for the war. And here's some of her photography from that. This is my favorite picture of Lee's. This was taken in Hitler's bathroom. She somehow found out where his apartment was, and during a time at the end of the war when all of the people in concentration camps were being freed, she was taking photos around that area and had muddy boots from the concentration camps. And her and her friend went into his apartment and dirtied it up with all that mud and took some photos in there. I thought it was pretty awesome. Clark Gable. She was very good friends with Picasso. The new exhibit that will be here in January is about Picasso, so this is a preamble to some of that. Good transition, I would say. I never knew what Picasso looked like until today. Here's Picasso with Lee's son. When Lee was 40 years old, she was married to Roland Penrose, and they had Anthony, their son. She never really connected with Anthony. His whole life, they had a strange relationship and argued a lot. And after her death, he had no idea about her life and all of this stuff that happened and all these photographs that existed. And he went through her stuff and found 80,000 negatives with all of this story to be told. I think it's pretty amazing that now we get a chance to see what some of these artists look like Picasso, in their real life situations, all these war photographs, just the real life of what it was like in that part of the world, Paris, Egypt, the United States, New York, from a really interesting character in history. Most of Lee's photography is black and white, but after the war, she did take some color photography. And here's a few of those images. These photographs are made in the mid-40s. This one from 1946. To see the different type of coloring on this, I really like photographs from this era. This is a really great exhibit about an important photographer in modern history. It's so cool to learn all these intricacies about this Lee Miller's life. If you want to know more, I'm sure you can visit this within the next 2 weeks or so while it's still here. You can look up Lee Miller online, and I highly suggest you do that because there are so many cool things about her life, her art, that I couldn't explain to you in this short video. So friends, I appreciate you tagging along with me today to one of the coolest museums in Florida, the Dali. I appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.